up, guys? I hope you're having a nice day. So today I'm going to show you cinematic moves with the Phantom 4 Pro version 2. Now, I've owned this drone for almost a year and I've spent countless hours in the air with it, taking pictures, making videos, and everything you could possibly imagine. So I've definitely qualified to give you some tips and tricks. So without further ado, I'm going to get into some of my favorite cinematic tricks with the Phantom 4 Pro version 2. All right, guys, the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is turn on the grid lines and also the horizontal lines. It's fairly simple to do. Just simply click on this little icon on the bottom right. It's the 3 sliders. Click that, go over to settings right there, and then scroll down, click on grid, and then click on grid plus diagonals. Now what that's going to allow you to do is, say you want to frame a subject, take me for example right down there. Maybe I want to put myself right there. Then as I spin around, I can use the grids to try to keep myself right in the center like that. All right, the next tip for you is to consider the natural lines in your landscape. Now, one of the reasons I picked this location is not only is it quiet and a nice place for me to explain what's going on, it also has some very vivid natural boundaries. So in this case, we have a canal here. It's straight down the middle. So of course it will be interesting to go right down there, just like this. And because I ask you to put the diagonal lines on the screen, you can now tell if you're still in the center of your shot or not. And if you start to move off to one side, as the drone occasionally does, you can just quietly move it right back to the middle and you'll end up with a pretty decent shot that looks a little bit like this. All right, now that I've shown you tip number 1, we're going to move on to tip number 2. So don't forget that not only can you face out just like this, you can also point the camera downwards. Okay guys, I hope you're enjoying the video so far. If you are, be sure to leave a like. It's been a little bit rough on YouTube recently, so I would really appreciate that. Now, moving on to tip number 3. For this one, you're gonna wanna start looking straight down, and what you're gonna wanna do is push the throttle. So now you're moving up, and then you're going to use the yaw, which means you spin just like this. Moving on now to an even more complicated move. So what you're gonna wanna do for this one is, again, push up with the throttle. Then you're gonna want to point your camera up ever so slightly as you do this. So watch what happens. Remember, the drone is still moving up, and yet I'm aiming the camera up towards the horizon as well. And you end up with this really interesting, almost dolly zoom looking sort of effect, and it's pretty neat, especially if you're looking for a grand reveal of what the horizon looks like. Maybe you're flying by the ocean and you're revealing a sunset, or you're in a more urban environment, you want to look at the skyline, or if you're out here in a more rural area, you can reveal endless trees pretty much in every direction, which is actually what I like. All right, moving on now to the 5th tip. So what I want you to do is to move 100 or so feet below your maximum altitude, or whatever altitude you're looking to reach. You're gonna wanna look straight down just like this. What you're going to want to do, push the throttle, move backwards, and then point the camera up toward the horizon. And if you want, you can try to keep the X in the middle of your screen centered upon one spot. And if you want, you can slow down right at the end. right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know I had a lot of fun making it. Just remember that there are a whole lot more techniques with your drone than I showed you in this video. You're a pilot, you have the freedom to do whatever you'd like, and I highly encourage you to experiment. Have fun with this drone, have fun with whatever drone you have. On that note, I'm going to say goodbye to you. That is the prompt that my drone battery is about to die. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next week.